Hey, what's up guys? We're gonna do a new segment here this year. Well, this is 2024, but in 2025, Dylan's just thinking of different videos to start out the new year with. And I think one of them is me talking about certain baits, and we're gonna do a little series on that this year. This is December, mid-December right now. It's freezing out, and we don't really got nothing to do because we can't fish unless we go to Florida or some other state to the south. And we're not going to do that right now because holidays are coming around. So, but anyhow, we're going to talk about a little bit of fishing, because it's always on all our minds. It sucks that we can't get out there right now because this ice is developing on the lakes. And this is what we're going to do, a couple segments here or there, one a week or something like that. It's something new, and we're going to try it out, see if you guys like it or not. And I'm going to talk about baits. I've been bass fishing since I was in my, I don't know, early teens, and I really got interested in it. And then once I got married, I finally ended up buying a nice bass boat and worked my way up to what I got right now. And I got this Ranger 521, and I love it a lot, and Dylan's loved it a lot. He's done a lot of fishing on it, and we just got to talking here in the last month or so of new videos that we could do here on the channel. And we're going to start out with me talking about baits, like different types of baits and little tricks and tips that you guys can help you out in your fishing down the road. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start out today. A little segment today is on spinnerbaits, and that's one of the best baits on the planet to throw. It's kind of a bait that us guys my age been throwing forever, but guys like Dylan's age and young guys are getting into the sport. They don't really throw spinnerbaits that much. It's kind of like a Carolina rig in a sense. Carolina rigs, young guys really don't throw them. They're up and coming with jackhammers and all the newest baits out there, freeloaders and swim baits and everything else on the market now, drop shots, Ned rigs. You don't talk about Carolina rigs, but the segment today is on spinnerbaits. I'm just saying spinnerbaits is kind of a lost art. KVD's one of his, that's how he made his name, was on spinnerbaits basically, because he likes covering water, and I like covering water too. And me and Dylan, sometimes we get on Lake St. Clair and we cover water with our scanners, and we scan, and we go out there for a couple, 2 or 3 hours to scan it. What I'm getting at, this segment's on spinnerbaits, and normally when you're fishing spinnerbaits, you're covering a lot of water. And when you cover water with spinnerbaits, it's the best time to throw them is when there's basically a ripple or it's windy outside, when they're most effective. But the little trick or tip I'm going to show you today is, you catch a lot of fish on spinnerbaits, and you'll have a spinnerbait like this, what I'm going to show you today, and when you catch a fish or two, it bends out like that. See how it bends out? You catch a good fish, any fish. So now you got to push it back in to get it back in shape, which you can keep doing that. But in time, you catch a bunch of fish and you keep doing that back and forth and brushing it back, ends up breaking right here. Your favorite spinnerbait. You'll be like pushing it back and you're catching them. And that's the one you're catching them on. Say this chartreuse and white. And that's an excellent bait right there for smallmouth. They love chartreuse and white. Just like Wu Day said back in the day, he won a classic years ago. I think out of Chicago on Lake Michigan, and he says smallmouth loves chartreuse and white just like I like a ham and cheese sandwich. Okay, that's kind of cool, but that's the way smallmouth loves chartreuse and white. And this bait right here is one of my favorite baits as a spinnerbait, and that's called a War Eagle. We'll get back to what I'm talking about. Just give you a little update on fishing and stuff, but this War Eagle spinnerbait is one of the best ones on the planet as far as I'm concerned. But if you get a fish and it bend out like that, your fish is here and your line's here obviously, and it gets bent out like that, so it's out of shape, so it's not running like it was. And a lot of times you bend it in like that, and these blades hit the hook here, it makes even more noise, and that's what I like doing a lot of times. So to keep it in that shape, what I like to do, and I've done it for years, I'll get a pace of like 20-pound tests. This is 15, that's what I've got on us, but you take 20-pound tests and you tie a knot right here on the bend. Just go ahead and tie a knot like a polymer knot or whatever. You tie it right on there. Say your knot's on there. And we're gonna stop the video for a second. I'm gonna tie a knot. All right, and we're back. We tied a knot, just a tri-link knot's good. Just a knot where you can get started right there. And then what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to eliminate this bending out. So what you do is just tie on like a tri-link knot, just a simple knot. And you gotta be nothing special. Leave a long tag like there so you have something to tie off to. So you got your spinnerbait like that. Move the knot down to here. And what you wanna do is just wrap around like this and just keep going like a figure eight. Just like that. Keep going around and pull it up tight. Keep going around and just doing a figure eight around there like that. And keep doing that several times. I don't got a certain number how many times you got to do it. Just whatever you think's good enough on there. I say go around there, 6 to 8, 10 times, something like that. Just keep going around. And it's not going to affect the action of your bait. This is all I'm trying to do here. Is see how that line is on there now? I'm tightening it up. Just keep doing a figure eight, just like that, going around. And you can tie it off once in a while as you're going. Just make an overhand loop knot to sink it down, just like that. Then pull it up tight. Then after you get it tight, you take that loose end right there and you have something to tie off to. Tie it off like that. Make a couple knots. It's gotta be it's nothing special as far as tying the knots, but the figure eight is the key of tying this knot. Just pull it tight a couple times like that. Tie it back around. Come back over here. Tie it off on this side and be your final tie off. It's freezing cold out right here now, so my fingers are not really operating as normally it would. And tie it tight. And what I like to do, I grab it with my teeth so I can pull it tight. So there you go. There's the knot. I could tie it a little bit better, tighter. What you do is the whole idea is getting it like that. And then you can push it down a little bit like that so you can actually tie your line on to your rod. There's a little loop. But that's what you do right there. And you just cut off your tag ends. And once you got that on there, cut this off. Now it's on there tight. See, now it won't bend. That's the whole idea behind it. And you pull these up tight. You can push this down just a little bit so you got enough to put your line through there. And then when you catch fish, when that pulls out like that, it's gonna go right back. I've been doing that for years, and it's, a lot of guys that are sponsored that get, probably 50 spinnerbaits just this color, they're not worried about that really, because they'll just grab a new bait out of the tackle box and start casting it. Well, us guys that, value our money, I mean, we gotta pay for these. These are like 10, 15 bucks a piece. It saves a lot of money just to take a few minutes out of your time and take a couple of your best spinnerbaits you're gonna throw that day. Especially if you start catching them on one. Okay, now tie it up like that. Sit in your boat for 5 minutes and tie it up, and then you can tie your line right through here. It's gonna be a small gap where you can put your line through, but now it's gonna save. See how it's not bending all the way out now? It's eliminating that. So that's gonna help prevent your spinnerbait breaking in half after you keep pushing it in like that. See how it's doing now? It falls right back, comes right back. and you don't have to do that. So then you go ahead and tie your fishing rod line right on here, put it through the hole, and tie whatever line or knot you want to put on there. And that's the tip I want to show you guys today. That's what I've been doing for probably 25-30 years, and it helps prevent your spinnerbait breaking here at where you tie on your spinnerbait right here. You won't have that. And see how it comes right back. It doesn't stay way out. So that's the tip for the day, guys. And that's a War Eagle spinnerbait. I also see, I like War Eagle spinnerbaits because I got about every color. See how they're not got the line on there, and when you pull them out like that, see how and you got to keep pushing them back in like that. Well, if you do what I'm telling you and tie that line around there like that, doing a figure 8 and pulling it up tight, that helps. And this is like my #1 spinnerbait on Lake St. Clair. It's a War Eagle. It's a gold shiner, I think it is. And that's caught me some giants on St. Clair. That one. This white one works all over the country. That's an excellent one on St. Clair too. That's a War Eagle. I'm shaking so bad because it's like 18 degrees out right now. But same thing with booyah spinnerbaits. These booyahs are really bad about that. See how it comes out like that? Not knocking booyah, I'm just saying you can prevent all that by tying that line around like I showed you, and it won't bend out, and it saves your spinnerbaits. And you'll catch more fish because you're not screwing around. You're like, oh, that's the color they're hitting on. Now it's broke. Now what do? Now you throw another spinnerbait and you lose your mojo, and next thing you know, you're not catching fish. But if you do what I'm trying to tell you, you use whatever spinnerbait you want to throw, and if you catch a good fish on or whatever, you start to catch on, stop for a minute and tie your line around there, because you know you're going to catch more fish. You ain't going to have your spinnerbait, the metal where you tie on, break. Because I've had it happen a million times until I finally figured out, man, I'm going to try something. And I did, and it works. So that's the tip for the day, guys, with spinnerbaits. You know I like spinnerbaits. I got tons of them. I've had hundreds of them. I mean, pulsators. That's one of my #1s on St. Clair. Pulsator, chartreuse and white. And what I used to do, I guess that'd be another tip for the next video on spinnerbaits. I'll show you another tip, and it helps. I mean, to catch more fish, and that's what we're trying to do out there, is catch more fish. So on our channel, we show you baits, we show you how to do it, and we're going to continue doing the same thing, is showing you baits and how to catch more fish. There's one of my #1s too on St. Clair. These are actually 2 of my best spinnerbaits on St. Clair. I mean, I've been using these for at least 35 years, pulsators. They're awesome baits. Just like these War Eagles. Those are like my 2 best baits on St. Clair, War Eagle and pulsator. That's me. That's my opinion on Lake St. Clair, or where there's smallmouth fisheries, is throwing these kind of spinnerbaits. And it's actually, like I said, a lost art. Guys don't throw them because they're throwing everything else, but tie a spinnerbait on, you know, in the springtime, and actually work in summertime. Whenever it gets windy out, you know, go to a spinnerbait. You know why I throw spinnerbaits? Not only do they catch fish, they catch a big fish. And a big fish will hit spinnerbaits. So take time out, when you got time like right now, to tie some of your best spinnerbaits and tie that knot I just showed you. And it will 100% help you out losing spinnerbaits from them breaking right here at this metal bend right here. Because you keep pulling them out, or the fish pulls them out, and you bend it back in. Pull out, bend back in. After a few times of that, it breaks right there, and then that's brand new spinnerbait, no good. So that's the tip for the day. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna start a new segment. We'll see how you guys like it, and I'm gonna try my best to help you guys out with certain things I've learned through the years. You know, like I said, I've been fishing since I was a teenager, and I'm 58 now, and I know a lot of different things that could help you guys out, you young guys, even older guys that haven't run into situations like me. I've fished all over the world. I mean, Lake Michigan, I grew up salmon fishing out there, and I learned a lot different things from salmon fishing that applies to bass fishing. So good luck in your fishing, and take the time out and take the tip and do what I tell you to do, and it will help you out down the road. Over and out.